Hello old-timers and newcomers. Everything hurts and I'm dying. The world is falling apart. Let's play some video games. Fun. This shit is what I'm talking about. No matter what I try to do, something goes wrong somehow. I just want something to just go right. I want something to... I just need a break. You know what? I just need a break. I know I've been on a break for like 3 weeks now, but I still need a break. I want to relax. And best way to relax... go somewhere relaxing. Welcome to Modules. Modules is a project by Maxim Zestkov where different forms of art, architecture, sculpture, film and music blend together to create an intense, interactive virtual experience. We've essentially entered a virtual reality museum where we are going to be part of the exhibit in some way that I don't entirely understand yet. This, for lack of a better word, game is free to play on Steam. You just have to download it and have a pair of these. I think, booting it up, I did get the option to play with the virtual reality headset, meaning you don't necessarily need it. But either way, I'm curious to see where this is going. A total work of art by Zestkov, it is a world that questions the established definitions of our reality. In digital space, we can abandon the logic of reality and are freed from its boundaries. This guy just discovered fantasy. New worlds with total freedom are possible, worlds only limited by our creativity and the potential of art. And therein lies the paradox to people that suggest virtual reality is supposed to be indistinguishable from real reality. Modules will expand to contain Maxim Zestkov's entire body of work. Over the course of years, the project will grow as he grows, expanding into new territories and blurring the boundaries between art, games, and reality. With experimentation at its core, it is Zestkov's playground where he is able to refine his work with no end, challenging the limits of his own medium. Right, Zestkov, quick critique. When I can move this smoothly, this jaggedly is not at all pleasant. Just one critique. Let's start with you. Big blue ball of mystery.
Hello. My name is Maxim Zestkov, but you can call me Max. So, this is the very beginning of the Modules project, and you are in the lobby. Yeah, that's how we named this wonderful and empty space where you could just read a little bit about project, where you could look through the map and other places which you will visit.
Yeah, I can hear you. Keep talking.
And probably listen to this first audio message. So, my project Modules, a couple of words, like a total artwork, where I will be able to control sound, spaces, interactions, architecture, graphic design.
Okay, it definitely feels like being in a museum at the moment. With it being full of abstract pieces that are about as meaningful as we are willing to accept. Ooh. Settings, exit. Can I shut him up? No offense, Zestkov, I'm sure you're a nice guy, but the worst thing about going to museums is listening to tour guides. Or even worse, artists on place talking about their art. Which is weird, because that was one of the major things I was taught to focus on in art school. Either way, this feels very artsy, in that I have no idea what's going on, but it's captivating. I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna get you, I missed you! But what do I think about this? Well, the many varied orbs of varying sizes, all the same, placed beneath the massive terrifying thing. Are we ascribing fear and horror to it due to its size? But then, what of the many small pieces that had all come together to hold it up as one, almost reverently protective of it? Are they doing so out of fear or concern? Maybe or maybe awe in the classical sense, wherein it is magnificent, like a beast, ready to destroy them all, but that in turn requires reverence. Look at them scurrying about, uncertain of where it goes at first, before they realize, and then all at once they clung together, keeping it up, nursing off it. Who knows? Or maybe it just looks cool. And I've stared at it for long enough now to see the pattern it's all going with. So, time to leave. It's actually been years and months ever since... I actually can't remember the last time I was in a museum. Which is sad, because I used to love going there. Hoo! This shouldn't be getting me aroused, should it? If nothing else, it is a very relaxing environment. Oh, you know I have to be naughty. I remember visiting, I think, the National Kunstmuseum in Norway, the Modern Museum of Abstract Art in Oslo. Were I to follow, they catch me. Must be part of the installation and the thought behind the artwork, I assume. But anyway, back to the story. I was visiting the museum, and I kid you not, there was a chair placed in one of the artworks. But it wasn't just a chair; it was a chaise lounge, or chaise-lounge. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. It was made of metal, corrugated metal, and it had a chain around it. And there was a sign stating explicitly, this is not a chair, it is an object with an abstract shape. Do not sit on it. And Plato would tell these people to go fuck themselves. That's a chair, damn it. Aww. Now that's just mean. But of course it does add another dimension to the artwork, the fact that I couldn't jump down here. My assumption, or just the audacity of daring to try to put myself in the... to trust these great objects, or perhaps even take for granted that they would so catch me were I to tempt fate. When truly, I should simply appreciate their presence, their aspiring, gorgeous, shiny adamantium, obsidian presence. Either way, it's a good thing we don't have... If these are 6 degrees of freedom, what's gonna happen when we get feet in VR? Because that is definitely coming. You cannot tell me it's not. I am on the ground floor of a revolution in entertainment. Much like Markiplier before me. Of course, the more obvious comparison to make would be that of censor myself. Okay. L'esprit d'escalier reached the farthest depth of the game. How nice. To room 002, upper level. Did you see that pulse the further I came to it? Lady, I know I'm sexy, but come on, we're in a public space. Ah! Ah. Well, that was underwhelming. Neat. Like pond scum, like a water surface laden with specks of pepper, separating at a finger covered in soap. Or maybe, yet again, there is something organic and something very vivid and almost reverent with the way these things move. They all remain stationary, except in the presence of the great object. Like members of Flat World, like citizens of Flatland respecting their higher entity counterparts. But unlike the citizens of Flatland, they don't seem to revile the idea of higher dimensions, but rather live in comfortable respect from them. But they don't seem to acknowledge them, only the ones about to be touched directly by it. Much like how the common only gives respect to the uncommon in its presence. Maybe, I don't know, I'm just waxing poetic. Of course I could touch the blue ball of exposition, but I don't wanna. Okay. This one I'm really not sure what's going on with. It's neat. The big black ball Looney Tuning in and out of existence, but I'm not really sure what to make of it. There is a simplicity to the thing which feels very artistic. You know what they say, a poor artist blames their medium, which is the basis of things like found footage, which I am a big fan of. And so it's almost a point of pride for many artists I've experienced that they make much with very little. All of these animations and all of this space being here in virtual reality is very impressive, but watching it flat on a screen, this place has a very strong... It is a liminal space, so obviously it has a very strong backrooms vibe, even if that's not in the slightest what the artist is going for. And being here is very meditative. I could definitely come here and just watch this happen over and over again and feel very relaxed. But for a gamer, it's definitely pretty underwhelming. Okay, this feels strangely ominous. Would you guys be interested in seeing me moving about? Like, in all my videos, I'm always sitting down, and I think this is the first time I've actually used the 60OF controllers. If I had, say, 3 or 4 cameras, maybe, and I could place them around myself, then I could stand up and be much more present, like... Woo! Like you notice, when I move forwards like this, and then I turn, the camera... my movement follows the direction I look. Which would work very... You're not scary anymore. It would work very well if I was standing up. Oh, oh, oh! Okay, was not ready for that. Perspective shift. Neat. Maybe, I suppose in that moment I could have been one of the dots in the former room, actually experiencing the awe of the massive. Or maybe not, I don't know.
I spent a couple of months to animate everything by my hands. And then I rendered everything, and it became like part of my field. Only one point of perception. Only one highly directed camera.
Shut up. My immediate response to seeing this, I see the many dots, and holding one dot caught between them. My immediate thought was something along the lines of, you know, the most obvious stuff: general public perception, general public oppression, subjugation, and all of that artsy nonsense. But then he started talking about points of perception. Now, being an artist, of course I have studied depth of field, and that is definitely what this reminds me of. But imagine for a second we were one of these black dots staring up at that thing. We can see the perspective shift. We can see the focus shift. But every time it does, we pay close attention until it snaps back into place. Thus our perception holds our focus captured, and we can't truly perceive it. Or rather, we are encapsulating it in our tendrils of, well, perception. But then, how hard would it be for that thing to shift? If we truly held it caught, maybe it is in fact snapping back to the center of its own volition. Because should it go away, our perception of it would cease, and therein it would no longer be tethered, but it would also have no community. Now, you might find it unfair of me to wax poetic and then demean these artworks, while at the same time telling the artist to shut up. And to that I say, yes, but at the same time, there is a middle ground that needs to be explored. First of all, in the elevator back there, I did not touch the orb. That orb touched itself. There is a middle ground between needing to defend your artwork and just telling people what they should be doing. And one of the key aspects of any good artwork is that people should understand it, or at the very least, the thoughts and rationalizing that they come up with, trying to interpret it, it should be what you as an artist is going for. Not all the time, of course, because that is the glorious thing about abstract art. Sometimes it can be pretty, and it's just captivating, and it's interesting to hear what people think of it. But either way, I'm here in the moment, and I am enjoying it. Am I poking fun at this person's artistic expression? Yes, but I'm not the be-all end-all. I'm not saying that my opinion of it is valid. And maybe you people watching this have some sort of opinion of it that I can't so fully understand. Oh my god, we're in... We are in the Vanta Black Guy's lair. Oh my god. Is Zestkov the Vanta Black Guy? If you're unfamiliar, Vanta Black is a experimental color that removes, I think, 99.99% of all reflected light, which means that looking at it, pretty much all of its outlines and sense of shape vanishes. So even though it's a 3D object, it just looks like a hole in space. And Kapoor! His name is Kapoor. And I think, if I remember correctly, it was developed by the military for cloaking and for camouflage reasons, but the copyright for it is owned by a, I think, Indian artist named Amish Kapoor, which has upset a lot of people for, I'm not entirely sure what reason. Something along the lines of, you can't own a color. Correct, you can't. The fact that this dude is even trying is ridiculous. What confounds me is the measurement that I see plastered on that wall there. If I'm reading them correctly, it says H. Is that an H or an M up there? I can't see. I assume it's an H. Not sure what age is a measurement for, but for the sake of anything, I'm just gonna assume it's height. And numbers don't seem to entirely land up. It goes from 0.4 to 0.6 to 0.7, then 1. I was going to make some sort of observation about if those figures were supposed to be measurements in meters, then this would make the scale of this, even though it's impressive, also a lot smaller than I would expect, at least according to that measurement. And that adds a little bit more dimension to the artwork, even if I can't entirely parse what that would be. But back to what I was saying. Basically, the blue orbs are, if you need to ask what the point of it all is. And that would be the artist defending himself. But he's not explaining it outright. Like, he's there if we want to hear what he thinks of it. But we don't need it, really. That is the subtle difference between good and bad art. If you need to have it forced, if there is an explanation and you need to have it forced in your face, then it's bad art. If it's up for interpretation, but you may also ask the artist, then it's... I never really gave abstract art any kind of serious thought. I enjoy watching it because it's fascinating just to watch and just try and think for a moment about something inane. Okay, inane is the wrong word, but aspiring to create meaning in what on the surface doesn't have any meaning. It's a very relaxing thing to do, even if I don't even if abstract art doesn't really interest me as a philosophy, it does interest me visually, is what I'm trying to say. Mic drop. What happened? Wait, what? What? Did I glitch the game, or are you screwing with me? It occurs to me that may have been a different chamber doing the exact same thing but slightly different in some way, but I was too astounded about having ended up in that same place to really put much thought into it. Now this of course reminds me of the ferrofluid across a magnet, more specifically ferrofluid within speakers, which the man did mention was a part of the artistic expression, or at least sound was. But I'm not entirely sure what to make of it. But I'm not entirely sure what is going on here. Nevertheless, it is different. And different is exactly what you need when you need a break from everything that goes on, that goes wrong in your life. Contemplative. Okay, this is spooky. I'm not sure why, but it is. I feel like I am in the presence of whales, with their soft notes, overwhelming size, the slight hint at their presence without actually seeing them, and the way the water seems to bend around it all. Is it making me uncomfortable, afraid, humble? Is it beautiful? Is it not beautiful? It is. There is the measure again. I'm really not sure what to make of that. Wavelengths? Starting to feel like he's just playing around with physics models. I could do this in Blender, he says like an ass. Initiated. Complete the game. Is that it? Well, I thought there was 12 modules, not 11. Or did I miss one somewhere? Either way, I wanna stick my dick in it. Take me, Eldritch Deity Butthole! Strangely, no longer seem as deep, standing straight beneath it. Oh, yes it did! That was actually scary. 0.3, gamma, beta. Okay, so they're synapses, maybe? Not sure. But I assume this thing is vibrating at those frequencies? Maybe? But I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be at least one more module somewhere. We'll see where this pathway goes. Oh, I guess there really wasn't 12 models after all. So this was a nice little escape from the everyday. A nice little one-day vacation or something along those lines. I enjoyed it. Very relaxing. I hope you enjoyed it as well. 2 days from now, new video. I'll figure out what to do at that point. But I enjoyed this. It was strange. It was nice to let my mind wander for a bit and just wax poetic for a moment. Even if most of it was fairly demeaning because I'm an asshole. But if nothing else, I recommend you checking this out because, well, for exactly those reasons. It was very relaxing. It was confusing. It was awe-inspiring. And honestly, for all the talk about the incredible things that virtual reality can place you within, this is very bare bones for an artist, I must say. I mean, you literally have the ability to become God in virtual reality, and this is what you make of it? Really? I think you're a bit artsy-fartsy there. But either way, I did enjoy the experience. I can definitely see myself putting these on and just sit here, relaxing for a bit. A bit like watching a lake or something. Just let your mind wander and relax. Of course, you shouldn't have to watch this specific thing. But anyway, thank you all for watching. I have been Cool Scratches, and I hope you will join me again next time to take another look at what I found. Can I still say that?